Hey guys, this is Miss Lyons. Welcome to our first flipped classroom video. Tonight we're going to talk about some vocabulary terms that I want to make sure you guys remember. Specifically for multiplication, we're going to deal with factors, we're going to deal with multiples, and products. So a factor is a number that is being multiplied by another number to get a product. So let's say we've got an example of 6 times 2, right? 6 has been multiplied by 2, 2 has been multiplied by 6, and therefore we would say that these are both factors. Now, we know that 6 times 2 gives us 12, and therefore we'd say that 12 is the result of these two numbers being multiplied together. It's the answer to our multiplication problem, so we say it is a product. A multiple, on the other hand, is just a little bit different. A multiple is the result of multiplying a given factor by another number. So let's say we wanted to focus on 6, and we want to find the multiples of 6. So 6 times 1, for instance, we know is 6. And therefore we'd say that 6 is a multiple of itself. 6 times 2 is 12. So 12 is also a multiple of 6. 6 times 3 is 18. So 18 is a multiple of 6. And that can go on and on forever, because we can have an infinite number of multiples of 6. So let's move on to division. Okay, so if we're at a party, then we've got, let's say, 15 brownies. And those 15 brownies are being shared among 6 different people. We can set this up as a problem with a bracket because we know that that's going to help us when we have more complicated division problems. Now let's remember our vocabulary terms here. Okay, we said that the number that we're breaking up into smaller pieces is called our dividend. So that's the number that goes inside the bracket, okay? Our dividend. On the outside of the bracket, to the left side, we have our divisor. That's the number of groups it's being broken into. And then, of course, our result, the number in each group, is our quotient, okay? So, if we're doing our long division, as we have set up over here on the left, and we know 6 does not go evenly into 15, but we do know that 6 times 2 is 12, or 6 times 3 is 18. But given that 15 is a smaller number than 18, we're going to say 6 goes into 15 no more than 2 times. Now we know 6 times 2, like we said before, was 12, and the difference that we have left over is 3. So if we write this back into the context of the problem, we know that we started with 15 brownies. We know that we had 6 people. And we know that this came out to be 2 brownies per person. Okay? So if that's the case, then what is this 3 representing here at the bottom? Okay, we're going to call this, in a mathematical term, we're going to call it a remainder. That's what we have left over. But our problem tells us that we've got 3 brownies left over. Now, of course, we all know that nobody goes to a party without eating all the brownies. And I think that most of you guys would probably agree that people would just break those brownies up into smaller pieces. And we'll talk about what that means in the context of a division problem in a couple of weeks when we get to our division with decimals. But for now, we're going to leave it as a remainder. Okay, so let's try another word problem where we can set up our division, and let's label all of this stuff. We're not going to solve it tonight, but we're just going to label it. So we have this word problem. It says Annie has a budget of $384 to spend over the course of 1 year on clothes. If she wants to spend approximately the same amount of money each month, how much money can she spend per month? Okay? So we know that we're starting with $384 and we're trying to split this money up. So 384 must be our dividend because it's being broken into smaller groups, okay? And that number of groups is the number of months in a year, right? How many months are in a year? Well, we know that that's 12. So 384 divided by 12. Therefore, 12 is our divisor. And the result of this division problem is going to be our quotient. Now I'm going to leave it to you guys to figure out what that quotient might be. And once you've figured out what your quotient is, then I'd like you guys to try the other word problem that's at the bottom of your notes sheet, okay? You don't need to solve that division problem, but simply set it up just like we did for this problem here. And that's all I've got for you guys for tonight. Thanks for watching this. I apologize for the horrendous handwriting and for all the hiccups here and there. We're working on trying to figure out how exactly this program works. And sorry for the text messages in the background.